years. So, ladies, this workshop is for you. For as a lady, there are two levels of slavery that we have got to get out of. But look at me, I'm preaching. I can't even help myself. Let me just wind down a bit and just introduce myself to you before I get up on a pedestal. But listen, my name is Richelle Dickerson. I'm the CEO of a financial insurance agency called Rama Financial Solutions. The word Rama means God or infinite intelligence telling you what to do in your soul with your money. God gave me that. He said, if you're coming back into the financial industry, your name is going to be Rama. I was like, whoa, because I knew what it meant. It meant that I can't even think about compromise. I have to be fully engaged in integrity in all things. I cannot have any fear, no doubt, and I need to believe hard in what God is saying concerning our finances, and I need to trust hard. So when I got that revelation, I said, Lord, listen, I throw my hands up. You do the work and I'll just follow you. Right? So, listen, for those of you who are spiritually grounded people, when you see that word, now you understand where I'm coming from. Right? So, we are life insurance and retirement experts. I've been in the industry since 1992, and I was segregated in the industry for 30 years. 30 years of financial segregation. Number one is because I'm black, and black agents were only given burial policies. And we were only given term, whole life and term. That's all we knew. And that's all we would get. So, as a black agent in the business, I experienced segregation. Then I experienced another level of segregation as a woman coming into the six-figure million-dollar round table ring earners as a woman. Sad to say, a lot of the men did not want us to know what they know. So they were doing things with money and finances and getting into back rooms that we just did not have access to. So this is the year of our breakthrough. Do you hear what I'm saying? Where God takes off the scales of slavery. Female slavery, we're programmed to be owned. You picking up what I'm laying down? And African American slavery of picking up to be owned. Two levels of slavery. So he can take those blinders off of our eyes so that we can see clearly how to multiply our money, keep it safe, tax free. Y'all picking up what I'm laying down? So listen, I have a phenomenal team. This is my team. And this is a heavenly team. I'm telling you. Bill is my direct business partner. His name is Bill Brown or Willie Brown. He's been in the industry since 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 40 years. About 8 years before I started. He was the vice president. Listen to me. He was the vice president of North Carolina Mutual Insurance Company. Now, those of you who know Black history, there were two Black owned life insurance companies in the United States of America. The first one was Atlanta Life. The second one was North Carolina Mutual. These are the companies that covered the civil rights activists for life insurance when nobody else would. This is history, y'all. He was also the a retired VP of Axis Financial. So deep on Wall Street and deep in black life insurance. And you know what? When we met, you know what he said to me? He said, Richelle, I'm going to let you in the room. And I was like, say what? What does that mean? And I hit the $1 million round table back in 1992. This is a round table of insurance producers that do $100,000 a year in income and or premium or more. I was there in 1992 and went back in the 90s and 97 and on and on. Right? So I'm sitting at the table with them. They're 10 times richer than me. I'm still getting on the bus. And they drive a Mercedes, and I'm at the top 10, in the top 10 with me. Why am I on the bus and in an apartment and y'all in mansions? Something's wrong. Somebody been bamboozled. Who is it, right? So Bill said to me, Richelle, I'm gonna let you in the back room, and you are gonna see financial products that have been separated from us as a people for decades. And then I got mad at Bill and Dr. Guy, who's a pastor, and some other of them that let me in there. I got mad at them. I said, no, you don't. You have been keeping this from us. And then they're like, well, it's not really our fault. The companies, the insurance companies, the financial institutes won't let people in unless they have a certain amount of assets. And I said, okay, I'm gonna forgive you. Right? I'm gonna forgive you, but if there's a crack in the door, I'm gonna let my people in. Do you hear what I'm saying? And we found some cracks, y'all. And that's exactly why I'm here. My other business partner is Pat Envoy. He is the president of Creative One. He creates and designs life insurance, be your own bank policies that where you can save money, get stock market gains, and lose nothing. These are the policies I was telling you about where I shoved my money in there and I can literally listen out. I don't even know if it's really legal for me to say this, but the IRS can't touch my money. I can grow my money at a higher interest rate than the bank, and the IRS can't touch it. I'm OJ Simpson my money. And Pat is one of those people that helped design those policies. And he's been designing these policies for decades. Do you hear what I'm saying? And then there's Ben and Killian. And there's a couple other guys on my team, young millennial Caucasian guys, and they get the hots just to create something called equity index accounts. Oh man, they sleep it and eat it. We get together and say, oh, how can we make this money happen? Woo-hoo! Do you hear what I'm saying? There's a book by Reginald Lewis. He was the first black billionaire in America, and I want to highly recommend that you get it. The book is called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? And it talks about how Reginald Lewis created a team of white guys and white women and black women and so on. But he sent the white guys in first and was able to leverage and get an $800 million contract with Beatrice Foods. If he hadn't sent the white guys in first back in the 60s, that would have never happened. I hope y'all picking up what I'm laying down. There's another movie called The Banker. Samuel L. Jackson is one of the lead characters. I want to recommend that you go on wherever you need to go, Netflix or wherever that movie is showing, and listen to the movie The Banker and watch how they bought banks in the early 50s and 40s and what they did. I'm telling you, you guys, this is how you do it. This is how you get in the back rooms and how you get in the doors. And then God sent me this beautiful young lady who's on this call. Her name is Keisha Jones. She is a sweetheart. She is a godsend. Highly educated, master's degree, passionate as I am about serving our community, right? We are here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We do live workshops, podcasts, wherever God send us. If it's in the school, talking to the teachers and feeding them breakfast before school starts, all the way up to Bishop T.D. Jakes' Woman Thou Art Loose. Wherever, wherever we can go with this message, that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, before I get into this content, I need to give you all this disclaimer. Listen to me really good. This presentation is for information and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. The content shared in this presentation is not a substitute for personal financial advice. The presenter, me, Richelle Dickerson, and the firm Rama Financial Solutions, Inc., are not selling or soliciting any securities or any financial products. Aren't you glad I'm not on here trying to sell you something? Aren't you glad that this is for education? Such offers can only be made in private conversations with full disclosure. Why? HIPAA laws, okay? State laws, federal laws that prohibit us from you, it prohibits you from getting on here and sharing your financial and personal information. It permits me from doing it. Federal laws. Listen, past performance of the stock market does not indicate future results. Do you understand what I'm saying? Limitations of liability, neither the presenter nor the firm or any of its affiliates, anybody that I've shown you on the slides, none of us are liable for what you decide to do with this information when you leave this call. By viewing this presentation, you have agreed not to hold us accountable or not to hold us in financial liability for any decisions you've made after you have taken this information. Are y'all all right with that? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now listen, why did we decide to take this be your own bank concept and aim it at women? This is why. I went on to the U.S. Census Government / retirement for women. And if you look down at the bottom of my screen, you can see where I got this information. And when I started studying what is going on with us as women financially, the first time I heard it, I cried like a baby. But listen, this is what they said. Nearly 50% of women age 55 to 66, what? Have no personal retirement savings. Zero savings. Half of us. And we're talking about black, white, Hispanic, Asian, indigenous, Middle Eastern. Half of the women in the United States of America don't have any retirement savings. Now, I want you to think about it. You don't have to tell me because of HIPAA laws. How much money do you have set aside for retirement? If you have something, you just beat the odds. Okay. Women face a higher rate of poverty because we don't own retirement accounts. I was talking to a young lady just yesterday. She said, I got some crypto with Robinhood. I got some this with that and this, and I got a high yield savings account. And I said, do you have a retirement account? No. You got all this stuff going up and down on the stock market, taking your money to the line of zero and trying to recover over and over again. But you don't have a passive income bucket. No money is going to create income that's going to come in whether you work or not, right? And the Census Bureau, not Richelle Dickerson, said that is the reason why there is a higher poverty rate for women because we don't have that bucket. The Census Bureau says the savings gap, women are less likely to have $100,000 saved up for their retirement. Women, 80% of women will be impoverished by age 65. And the racial disparities, Hispanic white women and black women are more than twice likely to live in poverty as a than our counterparts. So black men and Hispanic men are two times better off than us because they put away their money long term. We can do better, y'all, because women, we are smart and we are intuitive. We use our intuition and our brain quicker than we use our muscle and our brawn. I believe it's because of financial illiteracy, just not knowing what to do. So, what does it mean to be your own bank? What does that statement mean? Being your own bank is simply put, is leveraging a financial institute's money to build your own wealth. Using the bank's money, using your job's money, using the life insurance company's money, using another institute's money to create more wealth for yourself. Here are some examples, y'all. Number one example we all know is matching money on your job. Don't pass up the matching money in your 401k. I had a gentleman tell me on the phone the other day, oh, he worked for DOD here in Virginia. Oh, I don't have the thrift savings plan. I never have. I'm like, why? I said, they match your money dollar for dollar. That's free money. You put in 100,000, you're gonna have 200,000. It's not your money. What? Get the matching money. All right, get the matching money. Everything over the matching money needs to go someplace else, though. That's another conversation, okay? But don't leave your job if they're gonna give you free money. Get it, okay? Bonus money. There's something called premium bonuses that when you put your money into it, elite annuities, not the annuities that you can buy on the street, but there are elite annuities, high-end annuities that when you put your money into this annuity, the life insurance company will pay you a huge bonus. Bonus money in an annuity. Earnings, dividends. The thing my grandma didn't get in her life insurance policy. Them jokers in them whole life burial policies barely paid for 1% interest. So that's why she went 40 years and barely had any growth in the policy. Every dollar that you put into something needs to be earning you $2. Every dollar you put into something needs to go to work for you, including your life insurance. Well, buy term and invest the difference. Buy term, but you better get out of it before you turn 65 because they're going to send you a bill for $400 a month. to $600 a month to $1,000 a month, and they still are not going to pay you any dividends. Can you imagine? Term policies are like renting an apartment. You get them until you get on your feet financially. Can you imagine being 65 years old and you lived in an apartment and the landlord raised your rent to $4,000 a month just because he wanted to get you out of there? That's what term policies do. When you get old and sick, they double, triple, and quadruple your rent or your premiums. Am I bad on term? No. You better get something if you got some kids. And if you got a mortgage to pay and people to leave a lot of money to, you better get some term. But term is temporary. It is not to be held on to after age 60 and 65. Life insurance cash value that you can use to pay off bad debt. That's why I'm sitting in this huge house. This is a house, y'all. This is not a Zoom background. Okay. This is a big old 3-story 5,000 square foot house 7 miles away from the beach shore in Virginia Beach. No, God gets the glory. I'm not bragging. But what I am going to tell you is that I took the money out of my life insurance policy and leveraged a cheap loan to get in here and stay here and to protect my 80-year-old mom and give her an apartment on the third floor and get her out of a bad relationship and to protect my 18-year-old son who is getting attacked in his predominantly white high school so bad they had to call the NAACP. I moved my family to ham sandwich out of there, and I did not take out a predator loan from from a company that was going to charge me 14% interest for a loan. I'd use my life insurance policy, cash value, and paid myself back. Oh my God, you can do that? Yes. Home equity lines of credit. If you have an equity in your home, you should be using it. The bank is using it. It's a low interest rate loan that we can teach you how to leverage. You should be using it to eliminate your debt. Now you got to be careful. You need to talk to a financial advisor like myself so that they don't raise your mortgage up crazy. But you don't die and leave the equity in your home. The bank won and you didn't. The bank won and your family didn't. You've got to know how to leverage loans just like I leverage my life insurance policy. You leverage the equity in your home. And then at the end of the day, everything you own needs to go into a living trust. Put your life insurance. You can't put temporary policies in a trust because they're renting. Only cash value policies can go in a trust. Your home, your retirement account. Transfer that daggone 401k to a self-directed IRA with me and our firm so we can get you a bonus and then put it into a trust. There are actually trusts that you can lock down tax free and you can leverage money from a trust where the annuity inside of the trust pays you every single month. I just got off the phone with a dear, dear friend of mine who's also my client that has been doing that for 15 years. And she's not super rich. Her and her husband together make about 6 figures together. What we don't know does hurt us. You can shelter, the only way to shelter your money from the IRS is number one, a life insurance policy or a life insurance company annuity or a trust that is irrevocable. Those are the only ways to keep your cash away from the IRS. I'm writing a book on that too, y'all. The other way is a business system. Have a business system where you can walk away and it keeps paying you income. People say, well, I'm going to buy real estate. Yes, buy real estate, but that doesn't keep your money away from the IRS. Do you understand what I'm saying? You got to put it in a trust. Now, I promised y'all I actually promised y'all 5 power moves to become your own bank. That is, first of all, before you can create your own personal or family bank, you've got to make move number one. The first move is that you have got to have at least 6 months worth of emergency savings somewhere in a bank, a money market, or a high yield savings account. One more time. In order to even talk to me about bonus money, high yield savings accounts, different things like that, before we can even have a conversation, before we can do anything for you, you've got to first have what? 6 months worth of emergency savings somewhere in a bank account. This is money that if the roof fell in, you're in a car accident, or mama went in the hospital, or a child got sick or hurt, you could go into that bank account and get that money within 24 to 48 hours. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you don't have that, we cannot help you. W. Clement Stone said that if you cannot save money and not touch it, then the seeds of success are not inside of you. This is a principle. The Richest Man in Babylon is another book that says the same thing. It says take 10% of every dime you earn and set it aside for emergencies. When emergencies come, you can dip into it, but you must tithe to yourself as a lifestyle, always and forever. Amen. The Bible in the book of Proverbs says, go to the ant, thy sluggard, and consider her ways. King Solomon's quote, how she puts away her resources in the summertime, and she has plenty of resources saved up for the winter. Go outside right now, Virginia Beach. It's February and it's cold. See if you can find an ant. You can't. They're in their burrows, living from what they stored up from the summer and the winter. So God says, look at nature and duplicate that. I don't know why I'm going so hard, but I'm going in. Okay. The second bucket you must have, and this is the one that we're not taught about, is the passive income bucket. You must set aside a portion of your dollars into a bucket or an account that is going to create passive income for you. Now, first of all, I had a 70-year-old woman ask me at Prime Plus, she said, Richelle, what is a passive income bucket? I said, Mama, just out of term of endearment, I said, this is a bucket where you put your money in there and then it'll pay you money for the rest of your life, which means you don't have to work and it'll just keep paying you, just like Social Security keeps paying you or a pension keeps paying you. A passive income bucket is vital. A passive income bucket is why the Census Bureau said that 50% of women are in poverty because we don't put money in a passive income bucket. And I'm going to give you a list of places that will create passive income for you, including the one that we offer as a firm. Well, there's several. There's a couple that we offer as a firm, and I'm going to show it to you. Okay. The third bucket is your investment bucket. This is the bucket where you're going to take some risk. This is your real estate bucket where you know you're going to have rental properties, commercial real estate, property that you buy and sell, stocks, okay, shares and company, business opportunities. The with the bucket is your foundation. Foundation is your emergency cash. If you don't start that, every other bucket will be a bucket with holes in it. So you must do as the Bible says the ant does. Make sure you have 6 months worth of cash on the ground, giving you a foundation that you don't have to touch, that's growing. Then you do your passive income bucket second, so that that money's there, making sure you're financially independent. Then you do your investments third. Woo! All right. Now we're going to go back to the time of Bob Barker. I used to love watching The Price is Right when I was in grade school. And I am going to give an ebook to whoever's on this call who can type in the chat the correct answers. I want you to name the first three buckets that are the first three power moves to becoming your own bank. Type it in the chat. And I'm putting on my glasses and I am looking. I am going to jump to the latest. Let me go here. Boom. It's funny, AI is asking me if they can answer these questions. All right, so listen. All right, let me see. Who has the names of the buckets? Anybody, anywhere for an ebook from Richelle? Who has the names of the buckets? What's the first bucket, the second bucket, and the third bucket that all of us must have in order to achieve financial independence? Stephanie, Sheila, anybody? All right. Let I'll let one of the attendees get it. Okay. Keisha's like, I can't wait to answer this. She's like, girl, I got it. I ain't never gonna lose it. Go ahead, Keisha. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead because so we can move on. Because I don't know whether these sisters are cooking breakfast or they at the grocery store. I don't know whether they got a recorder on and they just taping me for tonight so they can go home and listen to my new voice talking. I don't know what they doing. What are the buckets, folks? 6 months worth of emergency funds. That's right. Passive income is bucket two, and investments is bucket three. Keisha, I'm sending you, you're going to get the very first copy of my Be Your Own Bank for Women's ebook. You are the first recipient of it, my sister, and you deserve it on a whole nother level. I'm so glad. All right. All right. So if you think you can give me the answers, because y'all gonna have another chance. If you can give me the answers and you drop it in the chat, I'm gonna make you the second recipient. Okay? So listen, we already talked that we beat a dead horse, right? 6 months worth of emergency funds is you adding up your basic expenses: food, clothing, shelter, and transportation. What is your number to pay for food, clothing, shelter, and transportation? My number is $4,000. What's your number? Your food. I got to feed three people, three adults. Clothing. And that, oh, a personal care. Like you got to get your hair and your nails done. You got to get your, laundry and stuff like that. Food, clothing, shelter, mortgage, rent, transportation, and personal care. Add that up. multiply it by six, and that is your goal for emergency funds. When, as financial advisors, financial planners, when we sit down with you, that is the first thing we are looking for, because that is going to open up the door so that we can get you money, so we can help you leverage and get bonus money, etc. Okay? If you don't have it, work on it and never ever stop. Where do you put this 6 months worth of money? I have several places. Life insurance that's structured properly, not a whole life policy where the life insurance is going to eat up all your cash value. But there's something called a be your own bank policy that gives you a Roth IRA inside of the policy. And it gives you flexibility to get in and out of it. It's not an emergency fund if you can't get to it in the case of an emergency, right? So we structure these specially for you. A money market or a high yield savings account. Stop putting your money in these accounts that only pay you 1% interest. You're being robbed. Your money, you're being the cost of living is going up by 5% every year, and the bank is paying you less than 1%. That means the longer you sit your money there, it's decreasing in value. Find a money market account or a high yield savings account to store your money in so that your money moves forward every year and not backwards every year. If you want the ebook, I have a list of high yield savings and money markets accounts. If you want that, you need to text me or email me, and I can get that to you just as a courtesy, okay? Bucket number two, power move number two, is have a passive income bucket. Always be putting dollars into it. What are they? There's only one life insurance policy that will create a tax-free, guaranteed lifetime income for you. There's only one, and it's called an indexed universal life insurance policy. Now, this life insurance policy can't be structured by an agent who is a poop head and just out for commissions, because they will structure it so that it eats up all of your cash value. Now, if you already have an IUL, look at it and see if it has any cash in it the first year. If it says zero, they got you. They put a gun to your back and took your money, honey. It is not a be your own bank policy. You cannot do what I'm doing with that policy. So the policy has to be structured right. Talk to us. We can show you what it's supposed to look like, okay? Annuities create passive income. Now, I'm not talking about the annuities that Warren Buffett warned you not to get, okay? I'm not talking about street level annuities where I'm just going to go to Allstate and they're going to give me this annuity. I'm just going to go sit in a bank and they're going to give you an annuity. Those are called street level annuities. They don't pay jack. They don't pay anything. Do you hear me? And they lock your money up for years and you can't get to it. You feel like you put your money in money jail. Or they'll put your money on the stock market and you lose it and there's nothing you could do. You lose it and you can't get to what you lost. You just see it. Bye bye money. I'm not talking about those annuities. I am talking about something called preferred annuities. The agency, the firm has to have a preferred agent code. These are annuities that are set aside for the elite. But you don't have to be elite. That's the catch. And that's what made me angry. But you do have to have 6 months worth of savings that you don't have to touch. And you can't live paycheck to paycheck. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have 6 months worth of savings, there's nothing I can do for you in the elite annuity market. Okay? Elite annuities pay huge bonuses. On the low end, they pay 10%. On the higher end, they pay 30% bonuses. According to how much money you have saved up, according to how you're doing paying your bills, which means you're not living on more than 50% of your income, right? So there are financial regulations. But my 18-year-old son can qualify for one because he's got over 6 months worth of savings in his Capital One high yield savings account right now. He was a lifeguard and he worked at Walmart, right? So he's got the savings and he's still working part time and he's not living on half of his income. So he could qualify for a high end preferred annuity. I told him that. Now he's 18, he can sign for it for himself, even though he's in the 12th grade. But no financial advisor would have told him that. He couldn't have gone into Fidelity or Edward Jones or Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade and asked for that. He wouldn't have been able to get to the people who could give it to him. But because he's got a mama who knows the inside inner doors, now he can get it. The second thing is real estate. Now, I'm not talking about the real estate where they call you in the middle of the night because the toilet is overflowing and you have to get up and make sure the toilet is straight. I'm talking about real estate that's managed by a management company that creates passive income. So, because if you're running to fix toilets and collect rent, that's not passive income. We're talking about real estate that you don't have to do anything for. Dividends. Now, these are dividend paying stocks. You put your money into a dividend paying stock and it just pays you an income for the rest of your life. Coca-Cola, Exxon, Chevron, Procter and Gamble. There's a list of dividend paying stocks that will just keep paying you and paying you passive income. Now that I should charge y'all for. I just dropped the list of stocks on. Financial advisors will not do that. You'd have to set an appointment with them. They'd have to do an assessment. Then they'll look you up and down and see if they even like you before they give you that information. But they're dividend paying stocks. And then, of course, business ownership that's on auto, which means you have a book. And every time somebody buys it on Amazon, they ring your cash register. And when I had an agency, I just got paid a huge direct deposit the other day. I was like, where did all that money come from? It came from my agents and my agency. It came from the insurance policies on my books paying renewals. When you have a business system where it just keeps ringing your cash register, passive income, a passive income bucket. Ladies, this is why men are 50% better off than us financially because they put their money into what the Census Bureau says is a retirement account, i.e., a passive income bucket. Get one, fund it until the day you die, and then let that passive income put it in a trust so that your children and your family will continue to get that passive income. Be like the Rockefellers. You don't have to be a multi-billionaire. I don't care if it's $1,000 a month. Get it and put it in a trust and leave it to the people who are coming up after you. Now, I just gave you a list of passive income buckets. Here is your second financial challenge test. To be the second recipient of my brand new book, Be Your Own Bank for Women, or to get a copy of my ebook immediately, The Secret of Tax Free Income or Tax Free Wealth, name three passive income buckets. I want you to look at this list because it is a trick multiple choice question. CDs, money market accounts, high yield savings accounts, dividend paying stocks, annuities or self pensions. Annuities are also called self pensions. Index universal life insurance policies. On this list, there are only three things that pay you a passive income. Three things. What are the three things? Type it in the chat. What are the three things that you must put your money into that will create a passive income for you? Who is paying attention? Who is going to pick up and apply what we are putting down today? Anyone? Anyone? Going once. Now, I know it's only four of y'all on here, me, Keisha, Sheila, and Stephanie. Going twice. Going 2.5 seconds. I want y'all to get it. 3 seconds. Three, two, one. Okay. Opportunity is closed. Napoleon Hill, who wrote one of the most powerful wealth building books of all times, the book Think and Grow Rich, was commissioned by Dale Carnegie to write this book. Mr. Carnegie told Mr. Hill, you're going to have to spend 40 years of your entire life researching. You're going to have to give up 40 years of your life to do this book. Will you do it? But I'm going to send you to every highly wealthy person in the world. So you're going to meet you're going to get in a back room and have one-on-one conversations with every high finance person in the world for the next 40 years. Will you do it? And Mr. Carnegie had a stopwatch or one of those old school clocks under the desk. And he was timing Napoleon Hill. And he gave him 60 seconds. And if he didn't answer the question within 60 seconds, he would have dismissed him. And he would have gotten up, walked off, and saw him to the door. Because he understood that the subconscious mind or your spirit is going to make you answer quickly. Boom. You're going to have to be able to recognize wealth and jump on it, or it's going to go right past you. Right? So, what is the answer to this question? The answer is there somebody else who typed it in the chat while I was running my mouth? Did I miss somebody, Keisha? Somebody typing the answer? No? Okay, well, listen. The answer is annuities. Annuities are the only thing that will give you a guaranteed lifetime income or create a self pension for you. Index universal life policy, if it's structured to maximize the cash value so that you can pay off the life insurance quickly, and then it starts paying you a lifetime tax-free income. The other thing on this list is dividend paying stocks. And it's also in the investment bucket, dividend, not just regular stocks, but stocks that you can put money into it and it'll send you money every month, every quarter, every year. You are a shareholder earning dividends. The three buckets could be all three of these. You could use the universal life policy and put extra money in it and use it as a tax free emergency fund. That's what I do. One of the things I do. Put money into the annuity, a Roth IRA, which would be tax free at age 59 and a half and only 10% taxed before age 59 and a half, could create a lifetime tax free income for you. So your annuity could be structured as a Roth IRA. And then your third bucket could be your dividend paying stocks. I named a few: Coca Cola, Chevron, Exxon. You put money in there, they're old companies. They've been around a long time. They've been paying dividends 20, 30, 40, 100 years worth of dividends. Old, faithful companies. You put your money in there, you know it's going to go up and down, okay, but you get a check and a check and a check. So if you are smart like the ant, you would take all three of these and stick money in them and cover all three buckets. Woo, that was some valuable information. I'm going to go back and listen to this myself tonight. Okay. This is my policy, an index universal life policy. Of course, when I first started it, I couldn't afford $1,500 a month, but I did scrape out $500 a month. And I got myself $1 million policy because my agency at that time said it was during the time when George Floyd, just before George Floyd got shot, and then after he got shot, our mentors came to us and said every African American person should have no less than $250,000 worth of life insurance. And everybody who does this needs to have $1 million worth of life insurance. Why? So that we can lobby Congress. And every time a black person dies, $250,000 worth of wealth transfers into our community. That would give us the power to lobby Congress and stop violence against our community. Boy, that's deep, isn't it? I don't even know why I'm telling you that story. But they also said generational wealth. $1 million is not generational wealth, by the way, but it's a good start, right? So without giving y'all that whole conversation, I'm going to tell you that I took out $1 million policy. I took out two different policies to equal 1 million. And I began to stuff these policies. I began to tithe like W. Clement Stone and the Bible and the richest man in Babylon said. I began to I opened up the app on my phone. I still have it. And I just put 10% in my mom's policy and my son's policy. I got two on myself. Do. And I am telling you that by just using that one thing, faithful over one thing, he'll make you master over many. I'm sitting here with you today, and I have $132,000 cash value pocket that the IRS can't see, nor can they touch. And it grows at an average of 5 to 7% interest. You can't get that kind of interest at the bank. Accessible cash. I can touch the app on my phone and have money in my bank account within 48 hours. I can take money and stuff it back in there and pay my loans off and watch my cash value go through the roof. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And if I don't tell you about it, I think it would be a sin. My clients have it. My mama got it. She had a Mutual of Omaha policy that I sold her back when I didn't know any better. She was paying $150 a month, and it only paid like $20,000 of the death benefit. And then she said, Richelle, the pandemic, we're locked in the house and we can't go anywhere and the bills are coming in and we can't pay our bills. I said, Mom, I think you got about $3,500 in cash value in that policy. Mama took and I gave her another policy. I gave her an IUL. So now she's got double the life insurance. She's got $500 a month worth of long-term care if something happened to her. And we could do it right now. We could file a claim, and her life insurance policy would pay her about $500 to $600 a month in long-term care. If she were diagnosed with cancer or had a heart attack or a stroke or kidney disease, we could surrender 80% of that death benefit and use the rest for final expenses. It is the best thing that's ever happened to me and my family, just putting away a certain amount of money per month. The average person that can sock away $100 a month, $200 a month, $500 a month can do this. You can do it. I can do it. We can create passive income. We have to be faithful over that which is small, and God will make us master over that which is large. Okay? Annuities. I don't know if I'm going to go into this. I'm running out of time, but I'm going to tell you that there are three types of annuities you can get on the market. There's fixed annuities, which pay you a flat interest rate. There's variable annuities that go up and down with the stock market. Then there's fixed indexed annuities, which means they have a fixed interest rate. So when the market crashes, you don't lose a dime. But when the market goes up, your money goes up. These are the rich people elite annuities. Over here, wealthy people don't lose their money on the stock market in these annuities because they have a floor. So when the market crashes, their money just sits still. But when the market goes up, the money goes up. These are the annuities that pay big bonuses. The street level annuities pay 5 to 10% bonuses. The elite level annuities pay 20% bonuses and higher. There are some street level bonuses at 15%, 12% that are out there. But this is the annuity that wealthy people put in. When you hear people say, I don't believe in annuities, I don't like them, it's because they went into the bank or they went to some insurance agent and they got either one of these that only pays about 3% interest or 5% or lower, or one of these where they lost their money on the stock market and they have no access to it. These you have access to. You have access to 10% of the balance, like a bank account. Just take it. It's yours. Free cash, no penalties. Not these jokers over here. Now that tip was worth money. I rang your cash register with that information. If you listened, here's a client of mine who just got a basic annuity because she only had 3 months worth of savings. So we were able to get her a 10% bonus. She rolled over her 403B from Norfolk Public School Systems, $500,000, and they gave her a $50,000 bonus. After class at Prime Plus, she said, Richelle, I want to take you to lunch. I said, okay. She took me to lunch at the seafood restaurant down in Norfolk that's over the pier in Norfolk, Ocean View. And she said, Richelle, you know this thing paid me more just about my salary? I only made $65,000 a year when I retired. And you guys pay me 50 grand and just free money, bonus money. I said, yes, ma'am. Then she stuck with me through the tariffs when the presidential administration changed. She stuck it out with me and she waited 1 year. At the end of the year, because it had a floor on it, her annuity earned her how much money? She ended up earning over 20% interest. And she only got a 10% bonus. Altogether, she earned another 10% while everybody else was losing their shirt. Had she kept her money in that 403B, she would have lost half of it during the tariff times. And when the stock market crashed for 6 months, we thought we were going to go into a recession. She would have lost at least 30 to 50% of her money had she not trusted me at a Be Your Own Bank workshop and done this. So just a few weeks ago, we took the money from that growth account and we put it into an annuity. And now that annuity is paying her an annual salary of $47,600 per month on top of her Norfolk public school system's pension. So she's getting a pension, she's getting Social Security, and then she's getting this $47,000 per year from putting it in a what? Annuity. Then we took her to an all women's law firm here in Chesapeake, and we took that annuity, and what did we do? We put it into a trust. Now, her disabled 35-year-old son, who depends on her, when she passes away, will continue to be able to stay in that house and drive the car and get the care he needs when she passes away. So the fourth power move is to get a bonus, a big one, on your rollover thrift savings plan, 401k, brokerage account. If you got a CD that's not doing well, whatever your cash is, if you have a lump sum of money that's $10,000 or more, you need to talk to me and let's get a bonus on it. It's a power move. Even if you could just get a small bonus like she did, you are going to boost your retirement account like crazy pants. That's a power move. No, you cannot go into Allstate or you cannot go into your bank. And get this, they're not available to the public. You have to have a private, elite firm to do it. Do you hear me? This is what we did for our other client. She had she had almost a year worth of emergency savings in cash. So she qualified for a 20% bonus. She rolled over her 401k, $400,000. And she said, Richelle, I want to start taking cash because my son and we're going to start buying property and flipping it as a team. I said, I got you. I said, do you need to start flipping it this year or next year? She said, nope, we can wait a year. I said, guess what? We have a company that you just qualified for $108,000 bonus. But here's the catch. You have to wait 1 year. Have to let it cook for 1 year. And then you can start taking 10% free withdrawals to 20% free withdrawals. Boom. She said, I don't have an old problem with that. She opened up her account just before Thanksgiving and saw that bonus sitting inside of her account. She has been referring me to her friends and family like crazy. You got to talk to Richelle. You got to talk to Richelle. She's even been telling people how to qualify for it. Make sure you have 3 months worth of savings set back. Make sure you have 6 months worth of savings set back or she can't do it for you. Make sure you're not living paycheck to paycheck and your income is balanced or she can't do it for you. Okay, here's another client I want to show you. She just got forced out of her job from the IRS. They forced everybody out into retirement, held them in limbo. She wrote over $600,000 from her thrift savings plan. She had over a year worth of savings. She had paid off her home. She's excellent with cash. She works at the IRS. She qualified for a $180,000 bonus. I had a bouquet of flowers that was sitting behind me. She sent them to me for Christmas and she sent me all this stuff. $180,000. Her projection this year is that she's going to earn another $4,875. She said, Richelle, I'm going to go back and teach high school part time. I'm not going to touch this money until I'm 65, and then I'm going to take this with Social Security. I said, guess what? We have an annuity that's in the elite market. By the time you're 65, we're going to take that 600,000 and we're going to double it every 5 years. So now she retired at 100,000. Guess what? By age 65, she's going to have another 100,000. She's going to be at $200,000 plus per year at age 65 because she listened and did it. And she got the money that's been hidden from us for so long. Now we're working with her. Bill and I were working with her to put that money and put all those accounts in a trust. She worked at the IRS for 30 years. She knows what they'll do to you firsthand. Can you imagine working with them jokers back in the 60s and 70s at the IRS? She's putting that stuff in a trust. She's not going to get a second $100,000 a year coming to her straight from an insurance company. She's not going to own it. It's going to be out of sight, out of mind. Yes, we can do that. That is the fifth power move. Protect your life insurance policies, your annuities, your brokerage accounts, CDs, money markets, everything you can, and put it in a trust. We can work with you. We can point you in the right direction so that you can keep getting paid out of the trust. Rockefeller said, own nothing, control everything. You drive by Chevron and Exxon. If you ever been to Georgia, you've driven by Morehouse College and Spelman College, Brown. Do you know the Rockefellers owned that stuff and willed it and trusted it? Do you know that? I bet you didn't know that Morehouse and Spelman and all of that, that the Rockefellers, as a repentance to black people, put those colleges inside of a trust so that nobody could ever touch them, that protected them from the government, protected their money from the government. They did that. Hello. Deep in Black history. Welcome to Black History Month. So, the next step is I am going to invite you to a 30-minute. Actually, I don't want you to. Well, yeah. No, well, I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. Check this out. Okay, so a 30-minute to 45-minute coaching call with me. What is that worth? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do some financial planning. Sit down and make sure you have your emergency fund set aside because we're only allowed to transfer, we can't transfer more than 70% of your assets into one account by law. So we're going to make sure you have your emergency funds. So we're going to do a financial plan. Third thing we're going to do is see if we can help you avoid, we're going to create a tax-free account somehow. A Roth, an IUL, even a high cash value whole life policy, a trust, something. We're going to show you how to eliminate and avoid the taxes or minimize. Third thing, if you have a life insurance policy and it's not doing anything for you, we're going to tell you about it. Or we're going to tell you it's mandatory that you keep it. Because before you can get one of these high-end annuities or high-end fixed index accounts, they require that you have at least your salary worth of life insurance, or they will take it that you are not a financially responsible person. So every single client that we have, if you make $100,000 a year, you must have at least $100,000 worth of life insurance. It can be term, whole life, it doesn't matter. It has to match your salary or there's nothing I can do for you. Once you become a client, you're going to have access to me morning, noon, and night. I don't pick up phone calls after 9 p.m., but that's priceless. And you're also going to have access to Bill and my team working for you, making sure you're straight all the time. We're worth at least $55,000 minimum to even $100,000 for you. But guess what? What is our broker and financial advisor's fee? Most brokers charge 2% fee on your brokerage account, and that 2% fee stays there for the rest of your life. We eliminate the broker fees, eliminate them. Our broker fee is 10 referrals, 10 referrals, 10 of your best referrals. Who do you know that we should know? Those 10 referrals are due when we sit down to do a green sheet appointment for you. So if you don't have them all, that's fine. Work on it. And by the time we show you the money, make sure that you have the 10 referrals. We do this professional way. We ask you to text the people our business card. We are not calling anyone that you didn't really refer us to. So you have to tell them, text them our business card. We have a couple of short scripts you can text them. Get their permission. Maintain your relationship with the people. Make sure it's okay. Don't piss your mama off just giving her the number, right? Then it's a real referral. Then you have a broker for life. Okay? So I want to invite you. This is my phone number. So you can text me. Okay? And you can text me. This is the website address. You can book a phone call with me. If you know that you have your ducks in order somehow, you can go ahead and book a Zoom call with me. And then we can meet. Of course, I'm going to call you to make sure you're okay before that call. All right. Okay. So right now is the time for questions. And Keisha, you too. Okay. So anybody who has a question, we're going to take just about 5 minutes or so. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to ask you to raise your hand in the chat so we can see that you have a question. And when you jump on with me, you can unmute yourself. The first thing we need you to say is my question is, and then state your question. Okay. So don't do like they do in testimony service. Well, the Lord woke me up and my son had one of these things and my mama had an annuity and da da. No, 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 no. Say my question is, and then state your question. Okay. Anybody got any questions? Keisha, Stephanie, have any questions? I'm going to go down to the bottom. Thank you for dropping that in the chat, Keisha. Stephanie, you have a question? Keisha, you have it. Even Keisha, if you have a question, that's fine. Okay, no questions. All right, so I want you to take a look at this QR code, scan it. It'll open up my booking calendar. You'll go right to my Google booking calendar. And from there, book a 30-minute call with me. But just know that you have to have some savings, 3 to 6 months. And then you have to be able to set aside 100, 200, $300 a month comfortably, right? If you're going to think about doing something monthly, or if you're thinking about a high bonus paying account, you have to be able to transfer at least $10,000 on the low end. That means you're keeping your 6 months worth of savings or 3 months worth of savings. You could transfer comfortably $10,000 without it affecting you, or higher. Okay? Simple, easy qualifications. Let me tell you something. You would never, ever, 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 ever get a financial advisor to work with you for those small amounts of money. On the low end, financial advisors require $250,000 for a rollover before they'll do a one-on-one with you. On the higher end, they'll make sure you have at least $500,000 before they do a one-on-one with you. And law firms ask they won't do certain kind of trust with you where it pays you unless you have $2 million in assets. But we have found trust that where you can take just $100,000 retirement account and they'll set up those trusts for you. That is impossible. Those are impossible doors that are open. All right. All right, Keisha, come on and wave and say hello. Go ahead and give a little bit of encouragement, Keisha, and we might just pray out. We just want to hear your voice real quick.
Yeah, definitely great engagement today. You had some folks that were able to pop in. I'm sure got some good tips and we'll be following up. Hopefully, following this, you'll have some touch points from those that register so that they can get this great information for sure.
All right, well, thank you, my dear. It is wonderful to have you. See, look, our hairstyle even looks a little bit. We're on the same page. Stephanie, thank you so much for coming. Ladies, everybody who sees this on social media, this is our prayer for you from 1 John 3 and 2. I believe it is. Beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health as your soul grows. Let this financial literacy and this education let your soul grow and let your money and your finances and your passive income and your bank accounts grow along with your mind, body, and soul. Love and blessings from Rama Financial Solutions in Virginia Beach. Talk to you soon.